Yeah, Beyonce Renaissance movie got 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes, but they were saying that the picture she took, with the dress on, that they said she was too light skinned.
But how do you be too light skinned? Like, you have no control over the others. And then the way women use filters, how dare you say anything?
Yeah, she definitely didn't bleach herself. And as a photographer and an editor myself, she didn't have that. That's not in her control. You know what I'm saying? She looked at the picture and the picture looked good. I thought the picture looked great. I mean, I knew off the top
what she was doing.
Yeah. I think it was a theme with whatever the movie premiere or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And T.I. went off just the other day at the club.
As he should have. Don't say we hosting, you ain't tell me nothing about it, ain't giving me no proceeds from it.
Yeah, that made sense to me. Did you, what did you think about the King situation with T.I. and King?
I don't understand. Okay, so King got mad because his mom and daddy said he was spoon-fed, or, you was born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
Was he not?
I mean, he was. How do you get mad because you was privileged?
The whole America actually seen it on TV.
And then he gonna say, nah, because when I got done, I went back to my grandma's house, which I guess grandma stayed like middle class or hood or whatever. But even his mama said that was by choice. And I can speak because my sons like to be, we both know my mom, and she's a character. So they like to be around it. So I can see how kids, but that don't make you from the hood. That don't make you not privileged. You're still this person. I don't understand why King wants to be so hard or consider a thug or a nigga from the streets. I don't understand. Like, embrace who you really are, and who you are is a person who was born with privilege, which is a blessing when it comes to the Black community, because not all of us are able to do that for our children. But fortunately, T.I. and Tiny was able to give them a different upbringing than they received. And I just didn't understand why King, I think T.I., I didn't really see exactly what he did, but it definitely looked like King couldn't handle him.
Did you think T.I. was wrong as a parent?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I actually really enjoyed seeing it, and I thought he was absolutely
seeing him
right.
grab up his son. Yeah,
I thought it was absolutely
and ain't
right.
nothing you can do with me.
Yeah, I think Shout out to T.I. The guys in the A. Everybody know he the king down here for real, so stop playing with him. Jeezy denies cheating after Jeannie Mae brings up the Prenup's infidelity clause.
But that was only after he filed something. What was it? Let me look at it.
Yeah,
Jeezy filed something about
not getting the baby.
He was not able to get his daughter, and so here she come with that. But to me, the court order, the judge ordered, I guess, some type of custody, maybe split custody or something. And she hasn't been coherent to it, and so now you want to go back and file something after he filed that you ain't doing what you're supposed to do to let him see his child or visitation with his child. And I think that's wrong. I think it's the typical bitter Black woman syndrome type of, I guess, so to speak.
But she's not Black.
I don't care. It's the typical baby mama bitterness that come from, but most of the time you see bitterness from Black women. That's why I said that. But it's the typical bitterness from a baby mama, like, him saying his child ain't got to do nothing with if he did or didn't cheat. That had nothing to do with why you keeping his child away from him.
Black men don't cheat. Shout out to Jeezy, copped a new album. We rolling now. Let's go straight to the thumbnail. Depression in the Black community.
Which is not often discussed.
Man, it's never discussed. I think it was a wonderful idea to speak on that topic. What I got is it's prevalent from 18 to 24 amongst all Americans. Mm-hmm. It's the highest diagnosis have been from the ages of 18 to 24 by professionals. And so that's super young, first of all. Super young. Kind of scary. Mm-hmm. And so in the black community, I got young black men have nowhere to turn. It's very prevalent in men ages 18 and beyond. Black men don't realize that they even depressed. Like feeling down, feeling unhappy, feeling unwanted, feeling useless, on top of being viewed as the worst human being on the planet. It can leave a black man in pure depression. And the worst part of it is they don't even know that they're depressed. In the black community, we call depression the struggle.
And we do. And I guess that's why I wrote down like different types of depression and symptoms or signs of depression. So let me just go there.
That's some good light to share.
And it's actually more than 3, but I just put down 3. I have number 1, clinical depression. Usually this is a mental health disorder characterized by loss of interest in activities. When you normally have hobbies or sports and you're no longer want to have the interest in doing those things, usually, that can fall upon the category of depression. You have bipolar disorder, which is also something that stems from depression or a type of depression. I have that one is usually characterized by mood swings and manic highs. Manic. I think we all kind of know what manic behavior is. Yeah. Okay, so I didn't have to go into that.
No.
And then another one was very, the third one is postpartum depression. And I think...
Ain't that after you have a baby?
Usually. But what I have learned when I researched it is that it's not always what it has to do with a baby. It can do with lack of support, abuse in form of verbal or physical. It definitely, like we just said, the baby, what they call baby blues, or PTSD. This is usually something that is a greater risk for developing major depression. And I thought that was very interesting because when we hear postpartum, we automatically think after having a baby blues, but it's really more than that. Postpartum can lead from, like it said, abuse or lack of support, those type of things when people don't have a good support system.
Yeah. I got a few major causes as well. I got number 1, genetics. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Genetics.
Yeah, we can get into it, but
we kind of can know how genetics work, and
come on, guys.
I can see how depression can be passed down.
We're speaking about it in the black community. Mm-hmm. Genetics. Think about it, guys. Depression. All right. Okay. In black men, I got inability to provide and contribute.
I can see how that can trigger into depression.
That's gonna make men depressed.
Real men wants to be able to provide. Real man wants to be able to be that leader, and it's so many obstacles that will keep them from being able to do that. I can see how that can lead to depression. Absolutely. Like
a dog with the inability to wag its tail and or bark. Substance abuse.
That's big in our community.
Huge. It's going to lead to depression. Yeah. We're just...
Well, that kind of goes into the signs. I got, hopeless outlook. When I hear hopeless outlook, I got down here, it said when I did the research, feeling worthless and lonely and isolated. But I think that has something to do with the mindset. a worthless outlook. I mean, hopeless outlook. I think that has something to do with the mindset. And we'll get into that when we talk about trying to overcome depression. Number 2, I have loss of interest, which we just talked about, what falls up under the categories of what depression that leads to depression. Another sign is increased
loss of interest. I'm sorry. I truly apologize. Loss of interest. What did they elaborate on that when you were researching?
When you withdraw from activities, when you normally would probably go support your friends, but you don't no more. When you normally do certain hobbies, but you don't anymore. If you used to go to the gym and play basketball, but you don't anymore, those lost of interest, that's usually a sign. What's causing that? What's doing? Because usually that's a sign that's going to lead downhill to depression.
Yeah. That make a lot of sense.
Increase of fatigue and sleep. So like insomnia, if you can't sleep, if you're sleeping too much, those are signs. You
might be depressed.
Yeah, on your off days, all you do is want to sleep, lay around the house. You don't want to do too much. If you're not able to sleep because you're over thinking, or you're, the tension, or I think the next one is anxiety. Anxiety comes from not really sleeping, and I've seen that on there. It actually said depression and anxiety goes hand in hand. That's why a lot of doctors prescribe you medicine for anxiety and depression, or antidepressants can be used for anxiety. You know what I'm saying?
But on the medical aspect, is medicine the best thing for depression?
I don't agree. I don't. I think medicine I think it can help, but I don't think it's the best solution. I always think when it comes to any there's always some type of natural remedy that you can use that can help you overcome any type of sickness. And depression, one of the things, and it kind of goes to, the things that can help you overcome depression is nature. Sunlight, like simple stuff, sunlight, being in the sun. Because if you're depressed, usually you are isolated. Usually you don't want to go out. So yeah, go out, try to get some sun when it's a sunny day. That's going to help you. And I have experienced depression, right? So I can honestly say every doctor, from a psychiatrist to medical, any type of doctor, they're going to tell you to find a healthy routine. And all of them is going to prescribe you exercise. Getting some type of exercise, walk, if you just get up and stretch, yoga, anything that gets your body to moving on a regular, get a daily routine. They tell you that. They tell you that before they even give you the medicine.
What I always feel better after I exercise anyway. Not even had knowing that before you just said that. Yeah. I also got the National Alliance of Mental Illness. And another thing I found out before I tell you this, what these people said, they call depression a mental illness. They said depression is a mental illness. I didn't know that until I started researching. I got many Black adults, especially older, view mental health conditions as a consequence of personal weakness. And I can easily see that. And that comes from the National Alliance of Mental Illness. I didn't know that, but I can instantly, I can see that easily. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is about being a man, and you know what I'm saying, that that's weak, or they mind bad, or they retarded. Oh man, I might have to bleep that word out. But you know what it is in the Black community? Yeah.
One thing that I said with women is changing appetite and weight. Either when you're depressed, you're not going to eat, or you're going to pick up weight. I think that's a sign. It said it was a sign, but not only that's a sign, but I think that sign can lead to other major mental health. When I hear depression, I just hear more of, we got to take care of yourself. I think that's why a lot of jobs, when people are going, they give you leads. They want you to go to the psychiatrist or therapist, and they want you to get that help, because it's all about just taking care of yourself. I think I just mentioned a couple of minutes ago that it's a mindset. And I'm just speaking from someone not just doing the research, but from experience. It's a mindset.
Yeah,
it really is. Life, it hits you with different stuff. And one of the other things I noticed that when I read, it said seasonal. You know what I'm saying?
Seasonal depression.
Seasonal depression.
What do that mean? This time of year I lost a loved one at this time of year, or do that mean just it's cold outside and it's and I'm alone? I don't go with nobody. I don't got a relationship. I'm
that
lonely.
part,
Both?
and then it also says like saying the times like it's get darker early. That can trigger you to go into depression. All of that, it could be seasonal.
Daylight savings time came around and
and it gets dark at 5 o'clock, and it just brings you down.
And that's something mental that we don't even
And
recognize.
that's why I was tying that with the mental part, because it's all mental. To get yourself out of it, you got to, again, get in healthy routines, exercise, find some type of way. I know one thing that helped me personally when I dealt with depression is affirmations. And a lot of my affirmations consist of Bible scriptures, you know what I'm saying? And you got to put in that work. It's not easy to pull yourself up out of bed when you want to lay there all day and you feel terrible. And like, some of the signs that said, you have no support that can trigger into depression. It's not easy to do that when you don't have it. So it's mentally, you have to push yourself, and you don't do it just one day. You have to continue to do it till you find this is normal and it feels good and fun. And you know what I'm saying? Because all those type of things, high vibrational music helps you and all of that. And I'm not just saying this. I'm talking about anything that makes you happy, that's music and it makes you happy. Listen to it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to bring you up. That vibrational, a lot of music can bring you down. I mean, if you're kind of going through, like you said, the struggle, and you listen to somebody who's, always down and depressed, and they life not going good, and I'm talking about rap songs,
Rod Wave and all that.
Them people, and you might want to change that if you're trying to change. And again, the reason we want to talk about this is because a lot of people are going through it and don't even know they're going through it.
Yeah, no shade, Rod Wave. I think black women deal with depression a lot of times because of very simple things like, what I as a man would view it might be simple. I actually don't even have no right to speak on what I think women going through. But I'm talking about from my experience, I think sometimes women don't feel beautiful. And I'm talking about black women. And I think after a black woman have a child, I think she out of wedlock as well. I think after a black woman have a child out of wedlock, I think they don't feel properly loved or worthy of being treated right by a man. And I know that sounds crazy.
No,
but
it doesn't.
I truly feel like that. And I also think that black women express some forms of depression through anger and frustration. And so you will see beauty is a big thing now. And who going to go get a BBL with no money? That might have something to do with her depression.
Yeah.
Because this guy, that guy, all through school, I got picked over because of this girl or that girl, and she looked like this, and that's what everybody like, and of course, I look on TV and they go, every rap female. There's no rap females with just a regular lady's body, without her butt all hanging out and her breasts all crazy, and
But that's why it goes back to it's a mental thing. You got to feel good about yourself. Now, except for like when a woman have a baby, because your emotions and your hormones, if we're just going to look at science, your hormones are everywhere. They got to get back regulated. You know what I'm saying? Because you was carrying a whole person. Yeah. But even with that, and the only reason I wanted to say that one is kind of touchy, because you do want somebody, you want people around that's going to support you, that's going to uplift you, that's going to kind of encourage you. But it's mentally, you got to encourage yourself. Whichever way that feels for you, you got to encourage. It's a mental thing. You got to love yourself. You got to look yourself in the mirror. And I'm talking about actually put in the work and tell yourself, like, I am beautiful. If you're a Christian, find them scriptures that's going to help speak to you and give you life. But if you're not, just find the music and the things that's going to uplift you. Surround yourself with people. Find out what you like about yourself. Like, personally, I love the sun. You know, it's a pretty day. I want to go to the park. I want to, you know, those type of things do uplift me. So, you know, find what uplifts you and just keep it going. You got to put in the work though, because it is heavy when it comes to depression. And I also think a lot of the depression in the Black community comes from holding things in and not talking about it.
Oh yeah.
Not having someone or outlet, or thinking therapy is bad.
Now, that's the perfect side street to depression in the Black community. Which, first of all, depression is a topic that's really not spoken on, and therapy. Who needs therapy? That sounds crazy. And where I come from, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's a big one. I think we do need to embrace therapy. I think it's a wonderful thing to have a professional to hear you out for a couple sessions and make an assessment and give you a professional outlook on, you know, how you maybe can view things different.
Where they're giving you a different type of view, a different view of yourself.
They're giving you a professional opinion.
That's
you know,
good.
a professional
That's good,
opinion, a professional analysis. You go get that. It's okay to do therapy, guys. Straight up, like you know, if you work, most jobs are, if you go talk to your HR one-on-one, they, you know, there's several ways to go about seeking some help. You know, and I think it's cool.
And it's okay to get the help, like you just said. It's cool. Get the help you
It's
need.
healthy.
Or a confidant. I think we talked about that.
We did, but I feel a way about that versus a therapist, simply because a confidant, do they have a professional opinion? No. Have they been trained? Do they understand? You know, are they psychoanalyzing you and the things that you telling them? This going to stem from probably your childhood. That they gonna bust it back down for you from and help you out seriously, so you can really unpack where you at right now mentally and the reason you are where you at right now. Sometimes depression and things that we're going through is because of, you know, our childhood.
Past traumas.
Come on, man.
But
that we don't even realize that we really, you know, are still holding on to or still affecting us. But through these sessions in therapy, we're going to unpack this for you.
And I do agree with that. Everything you just said was correct and on point, because I didn't look at it like that. But the reason I was saying confident, because a lot of times we hold that in. We don't have an outlet to talk to in the Black community that we feel safe and that somebody's going to, you know what I'm saying, listen to. So when you hold that in, I think that's when that negative talk to yourself comes from. I think that's how, you know, triggers come to make you look at life, the outlook of life, you know what I'm saying, looking... what was the word? What I say? Hopelessness. You know what I'm saying? Hopeless outlook come from. I think it's good to let that thing out. And so if you cannot afford to go to a professional like a therapist or a psychiatrist, if you can find someone that you trust and talk to them, that's like almost a first step to getting it out, where it, you know what I'm saying, you're not holding that in. So that's what, but that was actually good what you said. I was just looking from that standpoint.
And I feel that standpoint, but the other reason that I had some smoke with that point that you made on a confidant versus a confidant versus a therapist was, a therapist is paid to not turn on you. You know what I'm saying? A confidant, you can think that's your confidant. You know, all you want. You know, they're not under a contract saying that this is, you know, law abiding, and, you know, and this conversation right here, stay right here.
Agreed.
Yeah. And then are you going to, speaking to your confidant, are you going to be receptive towards their unprofessional opinion? Because the unprofessional opinion can come off coarse. Or harsh. You see,
I get what you're saying.
I don't know how to talk like a professional, but I love you, and you want to come to me about something as a friend or a loved one or a family member or something like that. And I'm Mage. I'm gonna give you straight gas. I'm not a pro. You need to go to a pro.
So that raises a question. So let's say they can't go to a therapist or someone, they don't have the benefits or the money. Would a preacher A pastor, a bishop be considered as a professional to help you?
They should be a professional. They
They
should be.
should.
Yeah, they should be a professional. It's just
It depends
I
on.
mean, that's such a touchy subject. I don't want to.
Maybe we can touch that later in a different
I will
podcast.
I will have to touch that with a pastor. Or something. Like because I don't want to diss any man of God.
Absolutely.
I don't want to do that at all. But yeah, I mean, if you felt comfortable going to your pastor, bishop, priest, whatever, that's on you. I don't think anything wrong with it. It's just I'm not. No, not me personally. But I also got a Columbia psychiatry study showed that in the black community, we're 20% more likely to experience serious mental health problems such as major depressive disorder and or generalized anxiety disorder, and
Because they go hand in hand.
they go hand in hand. And I also got just a fact. Black women are more likely to have depression than men. World Health Organization.
Oh my goodness. Well, I can't disagree with the stats, but I can also see why black women will have more depression. You got more black women now they don't have anyone covering them. They don't have anyone leading them. They have to be the leaders. They have to be the mom. They have to be, the independent provider. Things are just so out of whack the way way God ordered it to be. I can definitely see why women, because we have to be so strong.
I think black women are amazing, but you just touched on they don't have a covering. And that's a part within itself. Do you got anything else on depression?
Other than, if you find yourself in any of these signs that we name, and there are many others, if you want to read more about it, look it up. If you think that you might, if you find yourself in behaviors that you don't normally do, and some of these behaviors are the ones we said, definitely look into getting the help that you need. It's okay. Like we just said, it's a high percentage, and we don't want to deny that. But the only thing I would say is go with the natural remedies other than the medical prescriptions. It's natural remedies. As a community of the black community, the black community, we do need to, and I'm sorry but not sorry, women need to do more exercise, and we do need to do more meditation. We do need to take care of ourselves. A lot of, when it comes to obese, I think, our community is high in it when it comes to black women. So, yeah, we will probably rank the highest, and we need to take care of ourselves. And to do that, do the natural remedies. Find a healthy routine. Get a to-do list. One thing I read was, as you cross off those things that you're doing, you feel a feeling of accomplishment. And that's going to it's going to raise that vibration. And you want to be on a high vibration. Listen to your music. Find what works for you, but definitely recognize the signs and just take care of you.
Man, that was good, babe. We wanted to speak on depression